In politics, every once in a while, you need a bird's eye view in order to understand unfolding events. If, for instance, you're traveling down to Mombasa and you're on Mombasa Road, where you run into a very serious traffic snarl-up, okay, you'd have no idea what's going on. However, if you're able to send a drone up into the air, you'd be able to see that there's an accident down the road. And then you'd also be able to see the idea you had of taking a shortcut, getting off Mombasa Road, going into the bushes, and then joining the road further down would not have worked. Why? Because your drone would have sent you back pictures showing that a bridge, that you have to cross in your shortcut, was washed away in the last rains. The drone up there gives you a very clear picture, and would like in this video to get a very clear picture of exactly what is going down in Kenyan politics. So, I propose that we get our drone up there and look down at Kenyan politics to understand exactly where we're headed. There have been a lot of exciting events, surprising events, but we need to get a bird's eye view. Now, in order to get our bird's eye view, we're going to look at two recent events, or developments in our politics that are very telling. These two different events are indeed linked, as we shall learn. The first is Aden Duale's new role in Parliament. Aden Duale, on the floor of Parliament, has recently made two contributions that seem to hit back at his own Jubilee party. The first was about the Mau evictions. Duale said that the government must go after the big fish when evicting people from the Mau, Kenya's most vital, most important water tower. What Duale was actually doing was hitting back at the Jubilee government for evicting ordinary folk, people with small pieces of land, and then leaving the big fish with huge ranches, huge plantations of tea untouched. What? Is this the same Duale? Is this the same majority leader we've always known? Leader of the majority, who as always defended his Jubilee party to the hilt. What? Vindu bichenjanga. Now, in Aden Duale's hard-hitting contributions in Parliament, he did not stop there. He went on to give a list of the kind of people who should be tackled, the kind of people who are so far untouchable as far as evictions in the Mau go. Duale told us they are former members of Parliament with huge tracts of land in the Mau. Well, that one I didn't know. Okay. He also told us that they are former presidents with huge tracts of land in the Mau. That one I believe we all know. And then he told us a lot more we don't know. A former State House Comptroller, current senators, and current police bosses all own huge tracts of land in the Mau. And they have been untouched so far. They have not been evicted. They have not been kicked out. They are untouchable, according to Duale. So what Duale was saying, he was hitting back at his own party that these big fish must be evicted from the Mau. Otherwise, there's a great injustice in only evicting the small people. Now, if you're not familiar with the geography of the Mau, you'd swallow these Duale remarks hook, line, and sinker. The truth is, there's a demarcation. There's the point, where it is safe for people to settle. Where it does not affect the water tower. And those borders have been drawn very clearly. Now, a vast majority of these big people, not all of them, but a vast majority of them are in the safe area. They don't need to be evicted. That is the truth. Now, as to how they acquired the land, that is a different issue. And let's not get embroiled in all that and go off topic. But I think you get my point. The vast majority of people have encroached into the areas of the Mau forest that will be damaging to the whole of Kenya are small people. And of course, Duale is a bright man, he knows this, but what he was doing, he was playing politics. Now, if somebody thought that Duale was just getting very emotional, defending the interests of Deputy President William Ruto, and that this thing would pass and that he'd go back to his usual role as leader of the majority, Then they were mistaken, because he quickly followed up this initial effort with a bombshell. Duale spoke before a shocked National Assembly and said the TJRC report must be revived. Ati? Was he serious? Hehe. Now what Duale was saying is that the Building Bridges initiative is good. However, they are doing a lot of work for nothing. There's no need of a committee. All that needs to be done to build bridges and heal Kenya is to release and act on the TJRC report, Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission report. Now let me start by saying I agree 100% with the Duale on that one. However, let's be realistic, because calling the TJRC report a political hot potato doesn't cut it. It's much more than that. It is too hot to handle. What are the contents of that report? Land grabbing during the Jomo Kenyatta administration, political assassinations from the Jomo Kenyatta administration to the Moi administration. Yeah. The long and short of it, releasing the TJRC report would be to completely wipe out old money, okay, and then conveniently leave new money intact. Now by old money, I mean old corruption money, yeah, and by new money, I mean new corruption money. Now Duale's own Jubilee Party, yeah, is controlled by old corruption money. It would seem that Aden Duale's new role in parliament is leader of the opposition. Although admittedly, our system has nothing like that. Our constitution does not have a leader of an opposition. Indeed, the whole system is not designed to have an opposition and government in parliament. What is supposed to happen is that the legislature is supposed to be a watchdog over the president, yeah, over the executive, a very key part of the checks and balances that make the American system work, which is what we have copied from in our 2010 constitution. Anyway, in Kenya we're behaving like same old, where we have the opposition side and the government side. So Aden Duale is the new opposition kingpin. And these two recent contributions he made leave absolutely no doubt about that. Now a bird's eye view should very shortly be able to tell us why he's behaving like this. But first, let's go to the second incident, or the second development I would like to draw your attention to. Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho is now very close to President Uhuru Kenyatta. I mean, the two are they're tight, very tight. They play golf together, they consult. The president obviously seems to really enjoy his time at the coast, etc., etc. Now hold on a minute. Isn't this the same Joho who was blocked from attending the president's function in Mombasa? Isn't this the same Joho who the president said, anataka kunifuatafuata kwani yeye ni bibi yangu? He wants to follow me all over the place. Is he my wife? Is it really the same Joho? Yes, it is. Vindu vibadilikanga. Vindu vichenjanga. Oh yes, this is politics. Things change, and they can change and leave you very confused. Now I'll give you a story to illustrate Joho's new status and power in the country called Kenya, which all come from the closeness, the closeness between him and the president. Now, sometime in 2016, I was just coming to Mombasa. Now, you know, there are only three ways to enter Mombasa, either through the Nyali Bridge, or through the Likoni Ferry, or through what we call the Makupa Causeway. Now, ideally, Mombasa is an island, okay, and this causeway is man-made. Many Kenyans don't know that. It was actually built by the colonialists in 1898, 2 years before the year 1900. The long and short of it is that soil large tons tracts of soil were poured into the ocean to create land, a land kind of bridge between the mainland and Mombasa Island. So I was just driving to Mombasa and I noticed a very interesting development towards the right. Clearly, somebody was trying to reclaim more of the ocean and create land, and they were using trash and soil. They're collecting all the garbage in Mombasa, mixing it with soil to create this landfill. And I admired the project. I thought it was a brilliant idea. Being the curious type, I'm a journalist, I asked around and I was told it had the full backing of the Mombasa County government. Ali Hassan Joe's backing. And I said to myself, Joe is a very innovative governor. He's doing a good job. Now, not long after that, I came across an environmental report that indicated that the Makupa Causeway, built in 1898, as I've just told you, had a very negative effect on the marine life in the area, interfering with the flow of the ocean around Mombasa Island had a negative impact. Several months later, again I read another report that there were plans to build a bridge, completely destroy the Makupa Causeway, return the ocean flow to what it was before, what it was before 1898, and build a bridge into Mombasa, a large, huge bridge across into Mombasa. Then I remembered the project I'd admired, the Kibarani project, and I thought to myself, that project is in trouble. Now, according to what I'm told, the governor realized that there was a change in the situation here, and so the county government of Mombasa approached the investors, who had put in so much money into that project at Kibarani, and told them this project is cancelled. It cannot fly because of A, B, C, D. It's harmful to the environment, etc., etc. The investors said, you must be joking. After all the money we've put in here, no way. We have all the necessary approvals. We have the titles. There's nothing you can do. And if you think we are joking, we can take this thing to court, the highest court in the land. And so, I'm told, Joe picks up the phone and makes a call. Now I'm tempted to think that the call went something like this. Oh, habari your excellency. Joe ndugu yangu. Habari gani? Habari ya pwani? Mzuri sana your excellency. I hope ile stay ulikuwa nayo hapa imeponesha hiyo homa yako kidogo kidogo. Niko sawa Joe. What can I do for you? Now after that telephone call, things started moving at lightning speed. A parliamentary committee, very high-powered, with most of its members, jetted into Mombasa and rushed to Kibarani with the press in tow. And they confronted these investors, asked to see the approvals and the titles and so on. The investors, of course, were very defensive. They said they had done nothing wrong, blah, 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 blah. But most of you know what happened. Things started moving very fast. Those particular titles were revoked. The approvals were quickly revoked. And the county government spoke very emphatically. Shortly after that, and finally, because normally the president speaks in the end. It is normal at functions, everybody speaks, and finally the president speaks. So finally the president spoke. He said, Kibarani, no way. Folks, I believe that is the end of the matter. Because I don't think it's a bright idea for anybody to start going to court. In my view, it would be a waste of time and money. The long and short of all this is that it took one telephone call. Msicheze na Sultan, moto ya kuotea mbali sana. Now, let's see what the pictures from the drone are telling us. Okay? Now, Jubilee are playing it very smart. The president is playing it extremely smart. With just a few strokes of genius, I don't think I can call them anything else, he has got all the powerful people in his corner. In other words, he has got all the political power in his corner. Raila Odinga represents a huge, very huge political following in the country called Kenya. It doesn't matter what you think about him. It doesn't matter what you want to say about him. That is a fact. Ali Hassan Joho will go down in history as being the most influential coast politician ever. Some would say luck was on his side. But whatever it is, Ali Hassan Joho coughs, Mombasa pays attention. And that man is firmly in the president's corner. And so, anybody who's trying to campaign for 2022 and visiting Coast 100 times is just wasting their time, in my view. And I believe that was the reason why the cozy meetings between the president and the Mombasa governor were leaked to the press. It was a message even to the legislators and the members of parliament in the area that whatever they're trying to do, whatever they're trying to drum up, will never work. Because with Joho and the president in one corner, utadu? Seriously, what can you do? Import even the most brainy political analysts, Bring back even Cambridge Analytica back to life. What can you seriously do in Mombasa? Now, the pictures coming back from the drone also clearly show us that the DP Ruto camp is isolated. And so, when Duale makes the remarks he made, which you have already talked about, and then DP William Ruto makes a passionate speech about how is ndani kabisa of Jubilee, and how Jubilee is still united, and how the press are creating propaganda, about him and about the DP Ruto camp. Don't for a minute get confused, because the battle lines are very clearly drawn for anybody with eyes to see. And if you still doubt, let me remind you that it was Joho, Ali Hassan Joho, governor of Mombasa, who issued a very strongly worded statement against DP William Ruto. And the long and short of what he said that they will deal with DP William Ruto politically. I guess maybe what Joho said was propaganda from the press. He never said it. The press invented it. This is what the deputy president is telling us. Now, some of my very dear followers on this channel, people I love very much and treasure, believe that I hate DP William Ruto. I have shouted myself hoarse in response, protesting, saying I don't have anything personal against DP William Ruto. I don't hate him. And I certainly don't hate his supporters. I treasure them. There are people who follow this channel very religiously. And I'm grateful for that. I love you guys. But these guys have not been able to believe me. And so, I have been making a very spirited effort to tone down anything I have to say about the deputy president. But things have to be said. And I'm very puzzled by recent statements by the deputy president because they don't make sense to me. And I would like somebody to help, maybe DP William Ruto supporters, to help me understand, because I don't understand. DP William Ruto recently said that the helicopter he uses is not his, does not belong to him. He has never bought any helicopter. He said the helicopter he uses most of the times, he borrows. And he borrows from who? A man called Moses Kuria, the Gatundu legislator. Gatundu South, I believe. Now that one, I don't understand. With all due respect to the Gatundu South legislator, how did Moses Kuria get to afford a helicopter? We know his income. We have a small understanding of his business interests. How did he afford to own a helicopter? Where did the money to purchase that helicopter come from? Or did somebody else pay for that chopper? Please make me understand. Because maybe even this courier man should go through a lifestyle audit to determine how he was able to afford the chopper. Folks, that particular statement by the DP has confused me. I don't understand. I beg to be educated. Can somebody educate me? Can somebody bring me up to speed and make me understand? Anyway, folks, that is the bird's eye view, and those are the pictures that the drone we sent up over Kenyan politics have brought back. The long and short of it is that the Uhuru Raila team looks invincible, unbeatable. And if you like, you can throw Joe into there. Yeah, although Joe is part of ODM, and ODM is Raila Odinga. Politically speaking, the DP William Ruto camp at the moment looks like small boys playing with stones next to grown-up men holding guns. There's no contest there. Politically, that is exactly how it looks. I don't hate our deputy president. I've never hated him. I'm just speaking the facts. In fact, if I can compare, when Raila Odinga was opposing the government, Jubilee government, it did not look the same as it is now. The opposition did not have any guns, but they looked formidable. The opposition were not controlling state machinery, but they had an impact. And although it looked like government machinery would win, and indeed they were winning, that one was a serious contest. However, this one is not. For anybody who wants to examine this coldly without bringing in any emotions, that is the true picture. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.